Let me paint the picture for you. Today in Los Angeles, a motorcyclist won big after a shocking legal battle. I'm Garrett.
And I'm Leah. Welcome to Laid Back Local, the news of the day with Leah and Garrett, here in Los Angeles. First up, LA motorcyclist awarded $28 million after fire truck collision. Robert Danbaum lost his leg below the knee after he was hit in East Hollywood in 2021 when an LAFD fire truck driven by apparatus operator Vincent Leong ran a red light and collided with him. A jury awarded Danbaum $28 million, reportedly the largest award in California for a below-the-knee amputation. A verdict is the formal decision by a jury. Here's the twist. The city attorney's office didn't engage in settlement talks, which are when both sides agree to resolve a case before trial to limit risk, and some observers blame that absence for the size of the verdict. It also fits a recent pattern. Jury awards and settlements tied to city vehicles like garbage trucks and emergency rigs have been climbing. In 2025, a jury nearly awarded $49 million to a man left in a coma after a crash with a city garbage truck, and the city's overall payouts have jumped significantly over the last decade.
Yeah, that kind of blew my mind. If the writing's on the wall about juries being less sympathetic to local government, why not try to settle early to cap the risk? Juries can send a message, and lately that message seems to be getting louder. Also, for folks driving today, it's a reminder, when a big city vehicle runs a light, the stakes are massive. Not gonna lie, I hope the city takes a hard look at training and intersection protocols, meaning the standard steps crews follow.
Quick question. Why do you think the city skipped settlement? Confidence in their defense, or a gamble that didn't land?
Could be both, or even internal policy choices, but when verdicts are trending up, that's a tough gamble. All right, let's keep it moving. Next up, Arcadia grapples with allegations of Chinese government influence. Arcadia, for folks who haven't been up there lately, is a San Gabriel Valley city often nicknamed the Chinese Beverly Hills because of its large, affluent Chinese community. Former council member Eileen Wang pled guilty to acting as an agent for China, meaning she worked at the direction or control of the Chinese government without properly registering it. She and her ex-fiancé ran a news website that prosecutors say was directed by Beijing. Wang was elected in 2022 and resigned in 2023 after agreeing to plead guilty. Now the city is drafting new guidelines to protect against foreign influence in local decision-making. For broader context, experts say foreign governments sometimes cultivate relationships with local officials to shape policy up the chain, from city halls to higher offices. Arcadia leaders are trying to add transparency measures like clearer disclosures and guardrails on meetings. By guardrails, I mean rules that limit risky behavior.
This one really resonates with me. Local governance is close to home, literally. The concern I keep hearing is twofold. 1, protect city decisions from covert influence. 2, avoid sparking racial backlash against Chinese American residents who had nothing to do with any of this. Those things can coexist. We can push for transparency and security, and also guard against profiling or suspicion based on someone's background. Real talk. That balance is tricky, but it matters.
Totally. Policies should target behavior, not identity. All right, on to the next.
Next up, wild LA police chase includes gas station stop before suspect crashes into CHP. The LAPD pursued a burglary suspect in a black Honda from North Hollywood up to North Hills on Friday morning. The chase started around 10:10 a.m. The driver blew red lights and even had a moment where a motorcyclist in traffic tried to intervene, which is dangerous. Please don't do that. Then, mid-pursuit, the suspect actually pulled into a gas station and refueled. That's the second time in a week we've seen a suspect top off during a chase. After that, the driver went the wrong way on the freeway, smashed into a California Highway Patrol cruiser, and tried to run on foot. Officers arrested him shortly after. If you're wondering, CHP is the California Highway Patrol, the state agency that patrols freeways. Wrong-way driving during pursuits is incredibly high risk because everyone else is moving fast and not expecting a head-on situation, so officers often shift tactics to minimize collisions.
Yeah, that's a curveball. Stopping for gas mid-chase suggests desperation or some odd planning. Either way, public safety takes the hit. Intersections are endangered, drivers get spooked, and patrol cars get hit. I'm down for more spike strips or remote disabling tech when it can be used safely. Anything that ends it faster without ratcheting up the danger on surface streets.
Why do you think we're seeing the refueling thing more than once in a week? Copycat behavior or just coincidence?
Could be both. People watch live streams and then try to game the chase, but coincidence happens too. All right, let's roll on. Next up, Darth Vader's sarcastic support highlights controversy over San Diego surveillance cams. At a San Diego City Council meeting, someone in a Darth Vader costume showed up as a protest and, with heavy sarcasm, praised the city's flock cameras. Flock safety makes license plate reader systems, cameras that capture plates and, in some setups, vehicle details to help police find stolen cars or suspects. The program has drawn heat statewide over privacy and potential misuse. San Diego had around 500 cameras in 2025, and amid pushback, the city is reevaluating its relationship with the vendor. Flock says it has tightened platform controls to address privacy issues, but the public debate is growing. The core question is simple to say, but hard to solve. How do we get the benefits of faster crime solving without building a massive, long-term database of everyone's movements?
Let's shed some light on this. When people say surveillance, they mean monitoring in public spaces. The concern is mission creep, when a tool starts being used more broadly than first promised, like keeping data longer than needed or sharing it beyond the original intent. Safety advocates point to stolen cars recovered and suspects found. Privacy advocates push for strict limits, short retention windows, strong audit trails, and community oversight, which means regular public checks on how the tech is used. That public pressure is clearly steering policy right now.
That's a solid point. If the rules are tight and transparent, trust goes up. If not, people default to suspicion. Speaking of justice and trust, last one for today.
Last up, OC man exonerated after 18 years for crime he didn't commit. Guy Miles was convicted in 1999 for a 1998 robbery at a Fidelity Financial Services office in Fullerton. His conviction relied heavily on eyewitness testimony that turned out to be wrong. There was no DNA tying him to the scene, and the actual perpetrators later confessed, but prosecutors couldn't pursue them because the statute of limitations had expired. In 2017, a California Court of Appeal reversed his conviction, and he was released based on time served. This week, the Orange County District Attorney's Office formally vacated the conviction, meaning it's legally set aside and his name is cleared. The Innocence Center helped Miles over years of filings. One key tool was a habeas petition, which asks a court to review whether your imprisonment is lawful. And here's an important takeaway. Eyewitness misidentification is a leading cause of wrongful convictions nationwide. Memory is not a camera. Under stress, people can make sincere but inaccurate IDs. Reforms like double-blind lineups, where the officer doesn't know the suspect either, can reduce that risk.
Yeah, that hits different. 18 years is a lifetime. I'm glad he finally got the exoneration on paper. It matters for jobs, housing, dignity, everything. I'd love to see continued training on eyewitness procedures and more support for folks re-entering society after a wrongful lockup. That's worth exploring across the region.
That's the takeaway for this one.
That's all for today from Laid Back Local, the news of the day with Leah and Garrett in Los Angeles. Stay informed and join us again tomorrow.